My name is Robert Christopher Wayne Weathers. I'm currently in Tupelo, Mississippi. I'm still under attack by Scientology. So they have possession of my extra-dimensional biology, especially brain tissue. Because of the entanglement property, I am still in that extra-dimensional biology, even if it's removed from me. Right now, they have it in their possession at a remote location, and I am still utilizing that extra-dimensional biology, especially brain and central nervous system tissue. Whatever that biology goes through, I have to experience. They are using this entanglement property to torture me, to keep me sick, make me not function. They are extremely violent. So I consumed some drugs, some marijuana, and it had a stimulating effect upon me. I started writing. I keep little notebooks to write down information about this issue and other things. So I started writing and then coming up with a plan to go back to the authorities. A new police report, to file a police report. I was feeling better, ready to do something about this. They started assaulting my brain and central nervous system tissue to reduce the effect that the drugs were having upon me. They're making me sick. Yes, they can feel what I feel. They can feel my pleasure, my pain. It is an ability that this technology gives them, the ability to experience what another organism does, even pain and pleasure, and thought patterns. Yes, I've been kidnapped by these people. They sit up on me 24/7, non-stop, and assault me. I am very sick. Now they're laughing. Yes, part of my brain tissue is in a hive mind. They interface our brain tissue to computer systems. This allows us to communicate with each other and to interact with each other in a digital landscape. It also allows us to feel what each other feels. We can see, smell, taste, touch, and hear what each other experiences in a hive mind. Sensory perception input. That's what they're doing to me. Yes, there are multiple assailants. There are a lot of them. Different people have different authorities, but some of these people are government. Some of them are civilians. Yes, Bill Gates is involved. So is Mark Zuckerberg. And Google, Devin Singe, he's in a hive. He practices Scientology. All these people have aliens. Barack Obama, he's involved. Part of his biology is an alien. He's got a little lizard. I don't know what his big one is. I guess it's a blue blood. He's got a little lizard. Yes, he practices Scientology. He is at one of these compounds that house extra-dimensional biology, one of their big computer systems for the hive mind tech. He is at that location. He's one of my government contacts. They're playing a dirty game, dangerous game. So in conclusion, the reason why this happened is I am a Class A personality, a big influencer. I'm very political. Yes, I'm fighting the good fight. I'm part Native American. It's in our DNA. A lot of us were very political, musical, and highly intelligent, naturally philosophical. Scientology found me on social media doing these things, participating in politics, discussing politics, and writing, entertaining people with literature. It's something I do for fun. I tell jokes a lot, plus I write stories and share information. I belong to the scientific community. My idols are the scientists among us: Charles Darwin, Albert Einstein, and modern scientists. I listen a lot to the people that share scientific information, and I attribute their my interactions with these people to my success as an author, a creative. Yes, it's their influence that's helped me produce my own ideas and creations, literature and ideas, and they help me study. They help me learn. Yes, they just did something bad. I was buzzing, feeling really good, preparing to do something about this, and I'm getting assaulted just because they can. They are petty. So Scientologists, they see extra-dimensional biology, body parts, as commodities. They are objects in which they use to complete their employment process, or for their employment. It is their job to mess with other people's body parts. They keep their hands on people 24/7. They do this for a living. I am very sick. Yes, I'm experiencing slight withdrawal. They hurt my dopamine receptors. They hurt my neurons, my brain tissue. Yes, they have the ability to do this. Yes, they assaulted brain tissue, organs, and central nervous system tissue today to keep me from feeling the effects of the marijuana. They wanted to reduce my euphoria, pettiness, childlike behavior. But this technology that they use has a narcotic-like effect upon the users. It keeps them stimulated. It is an electrical impulse straight into their brain and central nervous system. It elevates neurochemicals and hormones such as testosterone. It is causing some extremely bad behavior among the Scientology community. Coupled with the conditioning to mess with body parts, they are violent. They are extremely offended. So elevating dopamine levels can lead to irritability. It can cause people to become extremely offensive. They get offended extremely easily. Yes, they make snap judgments and can become violent or rage. That is prolonged elevated dopamine use. That's what they're experiencing. And one of them just helped me. I feel a little bit better. That's what they do. They cut me to pieces and put me back together. Yes, I'm missing brain tissue. So the particles of the drug are still there, but I don't have the faculties to experience it. So in the afterlife, we have special abilities. We can fly, we can do magic, we can move particles around with our mind. We have big 11-dimensional eyes. We can see everything, everywhere, down to the molecular level. They can see individual neurons and neural connections. And then they have the technology that small to interfere or modify or interface to this area of our brain. Yes, they can do all kinds of things. They keep saying this thing, this perspective that big and little don't matter from their perspective. It can be tiny, tiny, small, or giant, humongous. The aliens are malevolent. They hurt people. Throughout the last 60 years, we have had multiple reports of people having out-of-body experiences, seeing aliens. They are not extraterrestrial. They're from Earth. That's a human body part. You see. It's a human biology you're seeing. It's an alien. So reports of missing time, like they wake up somewhere, they don't know how they got there, or sleepwalking, hearing voices, being communicated with telepathy, aliens. They see lizard people, greens, grays, blues, insectoids or bug people, and worm people are also a thing. They use worm body parts also. There are giant gods in the heavens wearing giant worm suits. The biggest ones are worms. They have stuck almost their entire biology inside of a worm, or an extra protective layer, I guess. But they have the technology to utilize that tissue, so they can drive it around and use it. Well, that's one use of worm biology. Yeah, they also stick them inside of people to produce the same effect. So extra-dimensional biology presents itself in layers. Every 3 dimensions, it creates a new layer. So it looks like those little Russian dolls, a doll inside of a doll inside of a doll. Scientologists like to remove the layers from themselves. They wind up with 3 or 4 biologies they can turn into upper dimensional vehicles. And they use organs and tissues from other humans and other species to modify and try to make these biologies more whole and functional. I guess I'm rambling. I slept good last night. I have to make these videos to alter their behavior. Yeah, so what people have been seeing is Scientology since the 60s. There are no extraterrestrials on the planet that I'm aware of. Not in the 3rd dimension. It's possible there are some in heaven, but not in the 3rd dimension. We don't have aliens in the 3rd dimension. They are not from outer space. They are not extraterrestrial. They are not ET. It is a part of the human genome. Yes, Anunnaki have also been classified as alien. They live in outer space. Aliens do not drive UFOs. They fly. They can fly through outer space as long as they have most of their biology attached. Some of these Scientologists can't fly anymore. They've lost their abilities to fly and do magic because they cut themselves. They cut it off for themselves. I don't know why you do that. If you want to survive in outer space, you need to be an Anunnaki. That is... So most of these aliens are on artificial life support. Their biologies can't produce homeostasis or biochemical electricity or transfer energy or process energy properly. They use artificial stimulation. These people are accessing the extra dimensions while they are still alive. Extra dimensions, also known as heaven, is for dead people. It's for the afterlife. And only very few people should have access to the extra dimensions while we are still alive. And even they should be required to interact with the living in a specific way. Do no harm. That's first and foremost. Yeah, they should take the Hippocratic Oath to wield that kind of power in this society, in America. We have laws, the Constitution. And the laws that we currently have already stopped this problem from happening. People are breaking the law. Scientologists are largely criminal. Yes, it helps me. Drugs can help people function. They can have a performance enhancing quality, especially if you don't abuse them all the time. If you rarely ever take drugs, they can help. When I'm sober, I just sit and suffer and argue with them. I smoke a joint and I'll go to the police station and walk right up in there trying to file a classified police report. It's happened. Makes you get up off your ass and want to do something about it. Yeah, I normally go to the hospital for some classified medical treatment. So they'll make me sick, give me a life-threatening illness, and I'll go to the hospital. IVs and stuff like that can help. They start ripping shit out, trying to repair me at the hospital. They did something that it helped. I'm experiencing my dopamine a little more. More neurochemical electricity. Yes, my brain has been cut to pieces. Yes, I'm pretty much the same sober. I'm just not as, I'm fearful of doing things. Anxiety. Like going to the police department. Yes, I have disability, brain damage. You lose function when you lose extra-dimensional body parts. You lose the ability to function. So what it feels like is, okay, dopamine, when you sleep, dopamine feels really pleasurable. It feels really good. It's tangible, for lack of a better word. It's there, you can experience it. It's very intense and deep sensation. If you lose neurons or nervous system tissue, things like endorphins or neurochemicals like dopamine, they have a lesser effect. It's like a very weakened sensation. It weakens the sensation. And that's mainly what it feels like. And then you also realize that these extra-dimensional body parts are helping you function. They are responsible for your ability to function and process information or process energy and food. If you take it away, you lose the ability to digest food, to breathe. The entire particle. So the rest of the universe also has extra dimensions, even the oxygen we breathe. It makes you sick, bad sick. I am missing a lot of extra dimensional biology. And the only reason I'm able to function a little bit now is they have kept most of it intact, functioning at a remote location. I'm utilizing that biology even if it's at a remote location. Now I'm getting victim shamed. They're saying I've done something wrong that justifies the criminal behavior towards me. I have witnessed countless victims from the Scientology community. They do this to a lot of people. This type shit. Torture. Harassment. They premeditate people's demise. They will try to get people put in jail or killed. That's their MO. And they are abusing their authority in government to do it. The Scientology community has people working for them in government. Police officers and government agents. They're assaulting me at the moment. I'm being tortured. My nose. It appears as if they are trying to manufacture evidence, or they're trying to create a false narrative. Yes, they force me to listen to their voices. It's harassment. They try to make me feel bad. They try to harm me with their words, and also their actions. Stress. They try to induce stress and fear. They make me fear for my life. That's Scientology's MO. I've been there for 13 years. I did nothing wrong. I've been under government surveillance for the last 13 years. They know everything I've ever done. Yes, they do. If I did something wrong, I'd be in trouble. I know that for a fact because I have government contacts. They're here all the time watching me. Yes, I'll be picked up by the law. I have done nothing worthy of losing your life or your liberty over. And drug use has been exacerbated by these people. Scientology. Yes, they're on them too. One of the guys just said they don't even know how their own works, and I'm fixing to show them. There are compounds on Earth and off Earth that house human biologies, are extra dimensional Scientology institutions. Scientology is the correct definition. The Scientology religion helps people access the upper dimensions. They are creating the aliens, and they worship them. But they get their followers to worship them, and now they expect the rest of Earth to worship them too. That's what they're trying to do. Ever since the 80s, they've been forcing Scientology upon the public because it's not a religion; it's a medical field of study. Someone showed me that the Scientology community is in possession of at least $15 to $20 trillion. They gain that from selling access to the upper dimensions and also exploiting people, getting people to do their bidding. Christianity is worth at least 5 to 10 trillion. It's holdings at the moment. One just says because you're religious. They call this ordained. The Scientology community calls access to the upper dimensions ordained. You get to be in the know. So you have friends in heaven. Aliens are people too. There are good ones and there are bad ones. The problem with aliens is they're all hooked into a hive mind. So they have to experience each other's emotions and be subjected to each other's demeanor and their desires. Yes, people can project their psychology upon another person using this hive mind tech. I'm getting victim shamed again. I've done nothing wrong. Call the cops. Yes, they're trying to get me to do something wrong. From my experience and observations, it is extremely likely that these people are responsible for at least part of the terrorism, the terrorist acts that we have seen in recent decades. So these people are addicted to kidnapping. They love to take control of another person's life, to control everything that human experiences or organism experiences. They love to cause pain and suffering, torture. Scientology does. It is something about a human. When organisms are smaller than us, they get messed with. Let me rephrase that. I call it ragdoll syndrome. Kids, you can see it prominently in children, blowing up frogs with firecrackers, and feeding grasshoppers to ants or to spiders. If organisms are a lot smaller than us, we take them out. We have the affinity to take them out. Yes, I'm listening. Hive mind's wide open today. I have voices in my head. They are real people, other Scientologists in the world. I've been kidnapped by Scientology. This is forced assimilation. I'm in pain. They just damage the neurons. They damage the brain tissue. And I think they mess with the nervous tissue leading to my kidneys, or around my kidneys and my digestion. So our digestion and our kidneys, they also produce and are subject to neurochemicals, serotonin especially. It's and dopamine and norepinephrine. I guess they finally learned that kidneys and digestion is responsible for neurochemistry too. They are abusing the powers of heaven, the abilities of the afterlife. And here's the worst part about this whole story. It's time. Time is simultaneous. It is not just linear. So humans experience time as a linear event. We see the days passing one after another after another. We see seconds, minutes, and hours, days, months, and years. Aliens and the dead people, they see time more as a simultaneous event. The past, the present, and the future are happening at the same time, and it is a physical object or a thing. The future has already happened. It is a thing, an object that has already been created, and they get to interact with this in this manner, from this perspective. That means at this moment, I am being born. At this moment, they're driving my father in the hospital to give me the name Christopher so they can come back to this moment and sell this whole event to the Christian society. So they will accept these upper dimensional organisms as they destroy humanity and cause an apocalypse. And at this very moment, ancient people are seeing Anunnakis in the sky. Big humans with horns on their head that can fly. At this very moment, other people are hearing voices speaking of some Abrahamic God and some Christian martyrdom that's about to happen, and we're supposed to worship this or do something about it. So in this very moment, Christianity happened to cover up Scientology's crimes against humanity. They have killed so many people, abusing the powers of heaven. These people are still alive. They are from our timeline. These people have been using extra-dimensional technology since the 60s. In the 80s, they started taking over the world. I'm getting defamed, saying the drug use is doing something bad to me. Someone just messed with my brain piece. They're trying to reduce my ability to feel the drug. I do not consent. I do not consent for you to have possession or modify my biology in any way. Yes, my drug use is between me and the authorities and my doctors. Not you people. No, you're not the authorities. You're abusing power. Nowhere in our laws does it say that an alien can come down and assault me for smoking a joint or a cigarette or jacking off in my own home. There is no laws that says that. Yes, they don't want me to feel pleasure or be happy in any way or function properly. I'm a middle-aged man. I've masturbated a few times in my life. Childlike and petty behavior. That's what I get assaulted for. And then I straighten up, I don't do it. I refrain. And then they assault, they still do it because they have an agenda. They are premeditating my demise, my death. Premeditated murder. But not only that, they're Scientologists. They have the capability to control what I experience after death. They can artificially stimulate my biology in death and make me experience it. So they may give me an afterlife, and it may be torture. It may be a very bad experience. These religious zealots that are doing this, they call this practice sending people to hell. It's an actual, it's assault. You got some kind of torture device or some kind of mechanism, or you've done something to somebody that gets their extra dimensionals caught in a place that you can't get out of, and it's suffering. Like putting it down a hole or locking it out of entropy. Now they have damaged brain tissue. One of them said, go over there and get your dopamine back. Childlike petty behavior. No, my preferences for women are people my age. I guess that's normal. Because I'm 37. That's normal human psychology. They try to defame me. They say I've done all these bad things, done so much wrong. They're trying to justify their criminal behavior, and they're trying to use people in the government to get away with it. So it's turned into a setup or something. I don't have any evidence to come to that conclusion. That's what they say. They say they're going to set me up, kill me, steal my intellectual property, and get away with it. And then they've been doing this thing recently where they are accusing me of, or subjecting me to the scolding that they should give each other. So instead of telling each other, hey, you killed people, you did this and that, they tell me that. They say I did something wrong, instead of saying what these other people did. It's part of their Christian values. The Christian story is they tortured a guy to death and then got away with every crime they ever did. Their sins. That's what they tried to sell to the public for the last few thousand years. Yes, ancient humans had it better than us, especially in Americas. I guess that's why I exist, or why I've experienced this. Because natives, we had access to the afterlife. So did the Egyptians and other ancient Europeans are screwing everybody. They conquered the world, destroyed all cultures, and implemented their own. And it's one of oppression and suffering. Food is scarce. Solar resources are scarce in this society. We don't allocate them. Yes, I can fix money. So I'm a genius. I come up with a better form of money, a better form of economics. It creates optimal existence. So I need every organism in the universe to be at their optimal existence. I need them to be at their best self, as healthy as they possibly can be, as smart, as intelligent as they possibly can be, well fed, with good behavior. I need you to be moral too. That's what the ECA does. That's what it offers. It allows us to continue to create money, which is turned into a bad tool, while improving the environment and the entire universe. Buffalo dollars. They are backed by environmental variables, good environment. We'll create a good environment, and that's where our money comes from. If we need more trees in the woods, we hire biologists to go out and plant more trees. And these biologists make money. There's no big corporation or this massive amount of overhead that takes all the profits. That's how money is created. If a kid needs an education, or even if adults need higher education, we pay teachers and scholars to provide that for us, and that's how money is created. It's that the government is providing a function such as writing laws, then they get paid for that. But it has to meet requirements. Yeah, they fixed it. The withdrawal feeling went away a little bit. It's a brain piece or something. They take it out and put it back in. I no longer have access to it as I used to. It provides, I guess, electricity. So I have gotten an antiparasitic finally prescribed to me. It's at the pharmacy. It is $1,800. And that's just for a 2-week supply to kill these worms. I'm just waiting on money, I guess. They don't believe I have them. I have psychological issues too, so they think I'm hallucinating. I don't really have psychological issues. The voices are real. It's telepathy. I have physical brain problems. I inherited it since birth. My father's mother had brain disease, and I inherited those genes. No, she was not a mongoloid, but she had brain disease. So the rest of my father's family are mongoloids. They have knots on the back of their heads. I have one too. You know, most of them are they're not the smartest people in the world, but they're pretty okay. They've all been kicked out of the military and for psychological issues and stuff like that. Guess I have a lot of military family members. A lot of them are surrogates, even if they don't know it. So that's what's going on right now. So the woman who's responsible. So one of the females that are doing this, she's attempted to communicate with me. It's probably going to be harassment. Let's see what it is. She shut up. Said I've been caught. She said I've done something wrong. It's going to validate their criminal behavior against me. Because there are already laws that supersede theirs, even if they're classified. Like do no harm. You can't cut someone's brain out and put them for surveillance technology. You have to institutionalize that person after the fact. You done made it worse. Now they're probably going to go do a drug or People subjected to this type of behavior, this type of assault and things, they go nuts. Uh, yes, they become violent a lot of the times. You're being killed, tortured to death, or forced to do someone else's bidding. I suspect a lot of the acts of terrorism we have seen in recent times have been surrogates. Aliens are driving humans to commit crimes against humanity. Political agendas, or there are things going on in the Scientology community that is bad. People are pissed. They don't care. If it helps, they'll go blow up some shit. Tyranny. Scientology has infiltrated the government, and they are committing crimes against humanity. Well, that's what I've experienced from Scientology. That's what happened. It's because I get to see these people abuse their upper dimensional abilities to try to gain power in the third dimension. You see it a lot in politics, in the military-industrial complex, and the Department of Justice. They like to create their own problems so they can hop back on their third dimension and solve them. Yes, plus they're twacked out of their heads. Yes, the emotions that they experience should not be that way. To experience an emotion that extreme under natural circumstances would mean something is very wrong, and you would have different neurochemistry. Yes, you can experience elevated neurochemistry naturally, like from stress or good environments. So serotonin comes largely from environmental cues. If you are in a good environment with food source and water and a shelter, your serotonin is elevated. Sense of well-being. That's what it gives us. So that's the effect it has on us. And then whenever you do something good, you achieve a goal, such as build a shelter, or find water source, drink water, or eat something, or have sexual relations, or sleep, or do something good, or win a fight against a grizzly bear or something. You get dopamine, elevated dopamine levels. So you'll do it again. It increases our chances of survival and doing the right thing. So if you do something wrong, the environment goes to shit. People start getting hurt. Your serotonin levels decrease. They are not experiencing this. Yeah, they hurt everyone around them, and yeah, they're sociopaths. I think it's worse than sociopaths. They're actually conditioned to do it. They're conditioned to mutilate people to death. They're cutting body parts off of people. I'm making this video to alter their behavior. They are still premeditating my death. Now what I'm saying, I said domestic terrorism. She's trying to justify her criminal behavior. They're going to premeditate my death or assault or torture. Yes, they want me to have a bad experience. They are also abusing substances. So they show me themselves taking eye drops. It's some kind of stimulant or opioid or something. They apply through the eye. So it's an eye drop. It has a narcotic-like effect upon her. That woman that just talked to me, she uses them a lot. Someone says so does Barack Obama. Probably. Barack Obama has this reputation complex. He conforms. I said I shouldn't say nothing about Barack Obama. What's the truth? It's something that politicians suffer. They care about what other people think about them. That is not what smart people do. Smart people show up with the whole world hating them. Their hair's all a mess. Their probably clothes are dirty, screaming at the top of their lungs to try to solve a problem. It's just the way it is. Because they had to experience it, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, so he goes out of his way to hide the truth. That's what I was about to say. Yeah, he abuses authority on me. But it was also the system too. By the time Barack Obama got here, it was already over. Signed, sealed, delivered. Everybody was already lawless. He inherited an issue. I'm bait or a scapegoat. Well, Barack Obama really did something to me that probably cost my life. So they put a hit out on me. They didn't care how long it took. And then they continued to do things to me that would ensure that it happened. And Barack Obama was responsible. An action that he did 13 years ago might end my life soon.